Hello, Micronesia.
Welcome back to the Micro Pro Talk Show.
It's been a minute, but thank you guys for your patience and sticking with us on the show. And we have more hot topics to bring up and share with you guys.
This is episode 3, and I'm Nigel James.
And I'm Ozzy Ikalau. Let's get into it. So, once again, this episode is brought to you in partnership by Paradise Radio 89.5 FM, the longest running radio station here on the island of Pohnpei.
And on top of that, we have a special partnership this episode with Pohnpei NCD program down at Public Health. So special thanks to them. We'll have more on that later.
Yes, a lot of hot topics that we're bringing to you on this episode. A little bit of stuff that's been going on here in the island and in our Micronesian region. So here's a little bit of what to look forward to.
All right, this episode has a lot of stuff going on, and we're really excited to share because there's just been so much in between our last episode.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a bit about the census, the population census, some info on job and economy, and of course, the big hot one is the power situation here in Pohnpei.
Yep, that's a big one.
Yep.
Also, we're going to touch base a little bit, share some information about El Nino that's been happening here in the Micronesian region and other regions here in the Pacific, but a lot of the islands are affected by it. Also, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Yap fish mortality, the things that have been happening in the outer islands of Yap. As it's been all over Facebook and some gossips, discussions that have been going on online. And Typhoon Bavi recently, that's second typhoon in a row to hit Guam, CNMI, and the other islands. And finally, maybe a little bit more of traffic and safety here on the islands of Pohnpei.
And also, we'll have a special interview with somebody from the NCD program. So look forward for that.
Yes, NCD, that's the Non-Communicable Disease Program here in the state of Pohnpei. And yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. Looks like our first subject is going to be about the population, the FSM census that was released. That's the 2023 census that was released in 2026 finally. What month was that released?
A few months. March, yeah. A few months ago, the results of the 2023 census was just finally released.
Yep.
I think the last one was taken in 2010. But let's take a look at some of these numbers.
Yeah, so it looks like we are about a quarter fewer people in the FSM that we had in the 2010 range.
So yeah, let's take a look at some of these numbers here. It's the latest census. The last one was in 2010, and that census in 2010 counted 102,000 plus people population here in Micronesia, the FSM. And then just recently, the 2023 census taken in 2023, but the results finally came out in 2026. And these numbers are incredibly different. We're looking at a population of about 75 plus thousand people in the FSM.
Yeah.
So that's almost like a quarter of people of
Yep.
the FSM population just going out there, traveling abroad for work, school, or education and stuff.
Yeah, so we declined by about 27,000 people in the FSM.
Yeah, let's break down these numbers. So
Yeah, Chuk in 2010 was around 48, almost 49,000, and now they're down to 33,000, almost 34,000. So they dropped by about 30%.
well,
That was the state with the biggest drop
Yeah.
in population.
Chuk with the biggest drop in within the time frame of the both census, and Pohnpei started off with in 2010 with about 36,000 in population, and then this recent census shows that the population is now about 26,000. So that's about like
10,000
10,000 people
Yeah.
like going abroad
which
off island.
yeah, that's like 27%. So
Mm.
Chuk's got 30, Pohnpei's got 27% drop. Koshrai, of
Ooh.
course, never had a huge population, but in 2010 there were like 6,600 people, and now they're down to 5,000. So
5,000,
they
about
lost.
5,000 plus.
Yeah.
And then Yap State is showing is actually has the least amount of people going abroad. So in 2010 they had 11,000 plus people, and then in 2023 there was about 10,000.
Yeah, just under 11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just under 11,000. So that's like a 5 to 6% decrease in the population.
Yeah. So interesting. Every story has a different story to tell with what's going on. And
Yeah,
at Pohnpei,
every state has a different story to tell and like their own reasons for going abroad. Of course, everybody needs a better job, housing, families going out there to find work and to support their families here on the islands.
yeah, it looks like Chuk and Pohnpei, they account for about 92% of the numerical decline. So they're like
Mm.
that's where the story is happening. Chuk and Pohnpei, people are like, I don't have enough opportunities or something here to stay, and I'm gonna move
Mm.
abroad, migrate. But I guess the Yappies folks, you tell me. I mean, they just love
mean,
their island so much.
but yeah, Yap State's population decline is far less than the other states. So that goes to show that each state has a different story depending on what's going on the islands. But the big thing is like the main thing is like these numbers are incredibly high. I mean, our state combined is less than 100,000 people.
Mhm.
In like about 10 years. We lost almost a quarter of the population
Yeah.
going off island and abroad for their own reasons.
Yeah, let me ask you guys at home the question, have you seen this in your communities? The people
Mm.
leaving? Because I know in my community, yeah, it's happening. People, like, very few family members are still around in each key, family. So
Oh yeah, it has a major impact on the community, the municipality, the small villages with just that used to be crowded. Like I remember my village had a lot of people that we'd gather on weekends to do like community work, and then nowadays it's like a lot of the younger ones are going abroad, and then it's mainly like the elders like still at home, still maintaining the community and everything.
but I mean, Pohnpei is a big island. I mean, we always concentrate on Pohnpei because that's where we are, but we definitely have, a decent amount of population. But, by losing 10,000 people, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, but they're traveling out there for like better education, better jobs, better economy, and most likely education. They get to travel out there, get the training and education degrees that they need,
Mhm.
and then some actually do come back and give back to the islands.
Yeah, that's true. But one thing I don't think people realize, and I think that they share responsibilities when they move with other family members in the
Mm.
States. So they're not always paying rent and that kind of thing, but it costs more to live out there than it does here.
Yep. I mean, you get a bigger salary, but like expenses are also bigger as well, which is some of those things that you mentioned, the rent, mortgage,
Yeah.
internet, cell phone, and there's a lot. There's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder, is it really helping or hurting the FSM for the money that they go and they make their money and they send it back? They call that remittance. And I
Mm.
wonder if that's helping the FSM's economy by sending in more money, or is it hurting it? Or
Well, that's a good question. Maybe we can discuss a little bit more on that. You guys can feel free to share your thoughts on it. We're just putting it out there like something to talk about.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we don't ever claim to say that we know all the facts, and we may misrepresent a few things, and we apologize for that. But the idea is to get the question, get
Yeah,
the conversation moving and
yeah,
flowing.
we're putting it out there, and then like we of course we don't know all the details all the time as soon as it's available, but everybody has their opinion on and their experience with this thing happening.
Mhm.
But yeah, it'd be great to just talk about it and have a discussion. Maybe we can make something happen.
Yeah, and I would say for now, let's leave your comments in the comment section and see what you have to say about the subject.
Yeah, sounds good.
But more on that with the let's talk about some of the age groups. Like the census didn't only talk about how many people were in each state, but it was how many are 0 to
Right,
14 years old,
right.
you know.
So according to the most recent census numbers, like approximately from the age groups of 0 to 14-year-olds, those remaining here on the island in the islands in total is about 24,000 plus.
Which is about 32% of the population.
Yeah. Then from 15 to 24-year-olds remaining, it's about 13,000.
The 25 to 39-year-olds is about 14, and 40 to 59 is 16,000.
And then this one's 60 plus, 60 years old and above is like 7,000, about 7,500 remaining in the FSM.
So when you add up the 0 to 14 and then 15 to 24, between 0 and 24 years old represents 49.5% of the population. So basically half the population is youth.
Yeah, half the population is youth. And the majority of our elders are like 7,000 in like overall in all the states. That's pretty small. Like we're losing a lot of our elderly.
All right, it makes you wonder too, like how accurate are these numbers? I mean, how accurate are things really represented?
I mean, yeah, these are the numbers back in 2023 census, and the results weren't released until this year, 2026. And a lot can happen in 3 years, like population increase and decline.
Yep.
But just the looking at the differences in the numbers, it's actually very informative. Good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Chuk's middle age, or the age that's like the average age there, is around 24. Pohnpei's is around 25. So pretty much everybody's between like 24 and 29 years old.
Yeah, like
throughout
the average age group is like in all the states is like 25 years old, 26.
Yep. Thing is though, like when it comes to the opportunities, the reason why they're actually leaving the islands, like are there jobs and opportunities that are directed towards the youth, or they're not enough? Maybe there's not enough opportunities, or
I mean, like, let's say, like, talk about like in the summertime right now, a lot of the students, especially, like to take on summer jobs, like here at the local businesses on the island, or they just stay home and help the family with the farm and fishing, and they do their own thing on their own time during summer.
yeah.
But like also a lot, especially during summer, they'll take a little summer vacation or travel abroad to get a better education somewhere else or better work, a better job.
Yeah, you know, when people out migrate, it's like it's taking away from those maybe like skilled workers that could be used here. But you know, there's so many different details that population census and the age sense, you know, the age tells about the story. There's so much that of a story that these censuses tell about the islands. But we really look forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comments. You know, the next section is related to the World Bank Pacific Economic Update of 2026, which is a FSM country snapshot. And they did their own kind of like I wouldn't say it's a census, but you know, what is that called? An update, economic update on how the FSM has been doing financially and that kind of thing. Those numbers end up showing like what they expect the growth of the economy to be. You know, they can project into the future a certain couple number of years. Maybe you can talk about some of those numbers.
So if we look at what we know right now, the World Bank forecasts FSM economic growth at in the year 2025, a 1.4% increase. And then 2026, this year, we're at a 0.9%. And for next year, 2027, we're looking, or it's estimated to be 1.2%. Now, those numbers do look positive, yet many families still feel financial pressure.
Yep. And that, I mean, it doesn't look like a very big amount. Like they're expecting this year to see a 0.9% growth, but I don't feel it. I mean, if you go to the stores, it's not like economic growth doesn't mean that things get cheaper. Economic growth doesn't really mean very much for, you know, if ordinary families can't really feel the change.
Mm.
I mean, 0.9%.
I mean, it's still a increase, but like it looks good on paper, but like the families, we don't really, or maybe we just don't really pay attention to it because I didn't notice any really big change having to do with those numbers. But it's not to say that it's not happening.
Yeah. Do you personally at home feel like you're financially better off today than you were like 5 years ago? Maybe not because prices of goods have gone up.
Yeah, and also a little bit of like maybe an increase in salary. I mean, that would be very helpful. A lot of who doesn't want to raise at their workplace, but still at the same time, like groceries and gas is like expensive. It's
Yeah.
very expensive nowadays.
Yeah, that goes into the inflation conversation.
Mm.
The World Bank is reporting that in 2023, inflation was at 6.2%. And they're saying that like it's going down each year. So it went down the next year to 5.4%, then 3.5%. So it may be slowing down, but prices are still high, and it's not like the prices will ever go back down necessarily.
Nope, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's not good business to bring your price back down. Once you've got, a high price of good and people are willing to take it, let's just keep it there.
Oh, yeah.
We're
I
collecting
mean,
the money anyway.
we're islanders, so we always adapt and then we keep it going. I mean, we were just recently hit by two typhoons in a row and we're still here.
Yeah, that's right. But fortunately, Pohnpei wasn't very badly affected by that.
Oh yeah, not as badly as it was in Chuuk and CNMI, Guam.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk more about that. Well, all right, so coming up next, we're gonna briefly look into an interview, hear a few words from our partners on this episode.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have some representatives from the Pohnpei NCD program sit and talk about what they've got going on, what they're seeing in their communities, and a little bit about what the NCD crisis here in Pohnpei, at least, is all about.
Let's get into it.
All right, welcome. We're here with the NCD program for some information on the NCD program here at Pohnpei State. And why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so thank you, Nigel. My name is Marianne Silvetus Dottere. Currently at the NCD program coordinator, working at Public Health, Department of Health Services.
Great. Yep. A lot of stuff's been going on at the NCD program and has been going on for years. And I know you guys are trying your best through all of the hurdles that you have and all the struggles. If you can tell us something about this new project we have going on, some awareness materials.
Yeah, so NCD, we've been doing a lot of work in terms of awareness, but we wanted to do something extra or something more because of the fact that we just completed 2 surveys, one involving youth and one involving adults. So with those fresh and new data, we really wanted to let the public know that this is where we are in regards to the data that was collected. And so we're very excited because of the fact that we'll be reaching out to the community, letting them know about the results. Why it's still fresh, because I know that some of the students and some of the people in the community, they still remember that we were there collecting the data. And so, while it's still fresh.
So the last survey was 10 years ago, or it happens every 10 years?
Okay, so we have 2 surveys, one involving the youth, which is called the Rapid Youth High School Survey. And so that one is every 2 years. And for the adult, it's called Hybrid. It's every 5 years. And so, the idea was, instead of just doing survey of this time every 2 years, every 5 years, we really wanted to let the public know what the results are and how we can work together to tackle this NCD crisis.
Right.
And so, like I mentioned, while the data are still fresh and the people, the homes that we visited, they're still fresh in their minds about the awareness materials, most especially the risk factors. Yeah. So risk factors, when I mention risk factors, we're really dealing with the risk factors leading up to these NCDs that we have, most especially diabetes and hypertension and also cancer. Those are the three.
That's what NCD program is working with right now.
Those are top NCDs that we're trying to let the public know about the status of where we are.
Can you explain a little bit more about what is a risk factor? What's that mean?
Okay, so risk factors are, maybe I should say things that we do or in our daily lives, what we do that really affects our needs. Risk factors including physical activity, unhealthy eating, using substances like tobacco, alcohol, and not getting enough rest. So those are the risk factors we talk about or we deal with when working with NCDs, doing NCDs on the island. Because like I mentioned earlier, we're really adapting the Western ways of living. And so it's really affecting us in ways of, the food that we eat, the
Lifestyle.
lifestyle that we live, most especially the gadgets, I should say.
Sedentary lifestyle.
Yes, and so it's really showing, really as early as in our youth, it's really showing that the risks are getting higher and higher because of the fact that our lives are, should I say, easier now.
Yeah, you don't have to work as hard to get what you need. You just get in the car, sit, drive to the store, pick up something, get back down, sit, come home, eat, sleep. Or sit on your cell phone. So you're doing a lot of awareness or have been doing awareness in the communities?
We have been doing awareness, but we want to strengthen it or expand it.
Right.
And so with this new data, we don't want it to just keep it to ourselves. We really want to get it out there. And with the help of Micronesian Productions, we're really excited about spreading the word, letting the public know things that we can do, easy steps, easy things that we can actually just at home, starting from home. And to me, it's the best approach.
Like what? What kind of things can you do at home?
Yeah, like these days, like we mentioned, our lives are easier. We no longer collect firewood to cook our food. It's like the rice cooker, and I grew up at that time when we took laundry close to the river to wash. But these days, when you go around, the laundromats are like filled with a lot of us women there doing laundry.
Right.
And so it's basic stuff like that, in terms of cooking, preparing food, and with our lives being that easy, our bodies tend to suffer because of the necessary movement that the body needs to do is then altered because of the fact that we are adapting these new things to use at home.
Right. And we have to remind ourselves to move because we get so comfortable just sitting around. And, yeah.
Yeah, and I should really mention because these kids when they go play sports, to them they don't consider it exercise, and for like us adults, just cleaning outside the homes, we don't consider it as exercise, and so in the term of exercise, we no longer use it as exercise, but they use it in terms of physical activity. And so like, just raiding outside the house, collect the weeds, that's already a physical activity.
You don't have to think of it as a chore,
Yes.
even though sometimes it is a chore, but yeah, physical, like moving your body. So what were some of the interesting things that you discovered from the survey that you recently did?
I would want to start with the youth, yeah, because even with the program, at the age of 40, that's supposed to be the age for you to come in to start screening for diabetes, hypertension. But what's being collected now, we moved down the age to 25 for screening because of the fact that we have people in their 20s and already they're on medication for diabetes, or hypertension. And so with the help of the high school survey, it clearly will really see that it's really happening as early as if they're with their 50, 40, that's already an age where, because when they go out to do the surveys, we measure blood pressure, take their BMI, when we compare their height to their weight. And so a lot of the findings are very disturbing and alarming. For me, the really takeaway when we go through our the report, tobacco plays a very big role in as being the top risk factor for HCV. And a lot of our youths during the survey, they really checked off that they're using tobacco as early as in their elementary years. That's where they started. And so we have this new thing, the vaping.
Yeah.
The vaping is other survey really shows that our youths are really using it even though there are laws in place. And so I guess really what we're really trying to let the public know is that, you know, we can do something. There's already laws in place, but it's just not being enforced. And so when it's not being enforced, you know, they became laws because of a reason to help the community.
The health.
Yeah, the health of the community. And so it's really spread it down to our youth that they're using all these having NCTs as early as in their 20s. And so we really want the public to note that the results are really alarming, and we really need to work together as a community, as a state, to help really our youth. You know, in the tobacco industries, I understand that, you know, once they don't really bother the adults that are already on using these substances because they're already hooked. And so I understand that they're really reaching out to the youth, and once they're hooked, then they keep moving down because it's a business.
The same thing probably can be said about like vegetables and snack foods. It's so easily accessible to get any kind of food, like Takis and all those high sodium foods. Really, like the survey, what did the survey say about vegetables? Half of the nutrient?
Half.
Yeah.
Not even half. Like there are some that they don't even consider it as something healthy or to be included in their diet. There are actually kids, they actually say that, you know, when there's vegetables in their food, they kind of
Push it aside.
because they're not goats. But then, yeah, it's like I said before, it really starts at home. When as parents we start giving them, they will learn to like it and not be bothered later on that it's not
Yeah.
something that they need to. It's really something that they need in their diet.
I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like vegetables too, but I was told by my parents to keep eating it, and I hated it, and now it's like, oh, I hope I have enough money so I can buy some vegetables for my family this time. No, I really enjoy that. It will be taught. It's taught. It's a lifestyle. So.
Yeah, on some of the surveys, the challenges that they face there is that it's expensive. It's getting expensive to eat healthy. And so when we really sit down with them and talk, when they come into the clinics to explain the things that they can really do at home, it's like they never thought that, we should just start grow our own vegetables. And we have programs all over the island, organizations or even programs that can really come out and help the families that are interested in growing their own backyard gardening. And so
Which helps with physical activity.
physical activity and nutrition there, right there.
Sounds like you guys have a lot of work to do, not only yourself as educators and physicians and health centers, but as people, regular people. So, and that starts at home too, because you can be somebody who teaches people. If you start at your home and you teach your own children in your own community, then they can spread and spread. So hopefully awareness gets spread as much as NCDs has been spread. You're better for that, so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to having more information about our next program.
Thank you for having us.
Well, that was some very good information to know. Thank you once again for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for the hard work that the NCD program has been doing in the past years. All right, well, we're going to get into the next hot topic. It's been a big deal for, I think, a few months now, but more of a serious concern, and that is what?
Pohnpei power outages are just going crazy all throughout the island of Pohnpei right now. And it's lots of talk going on online about what's really going on. But what we do know is is the information that we have so far, like some of the stuff that we know. It's like July 10th, PUC said that 2 of its generators were non-operational.
That's right.
And FSM Petro Vital has supplied 2 generators just to help out, which is great. Like some main concerns for the people is mainly having to do with the scheduled power outages that were announced that were going to happen at certain times during certain dates in certain areas on around the island. Like everybody's power go out somewhere at some time. Businesses, homes.
The big concern was people were saying, how come my household does not follow the schedule that was posted online? You know, some people were, there are some places that I've heard that were off for 24 hours at a time. There are places that are 11 hours at a time. Some are not scheduled to be off, but they're off. And it caused a lot of trouble and drama online. People were even saying bad things to the Pohnpei Utilities Corporation. But it breaks down to what? Basically, you know, they're just doing their job. They're doing the best they can.
Well, yeah, these guys at PUC once... there's a lot of talk going on online, and we don't really understand like the mechanics and the way the generators operate.
Right.
But we can honestly say that these guys at the Pohnpei Utilities Corporation are they're working night and day, rain or shine.
There's evidence right there on some of the footage you can see.
24 hours a day. I mean, I get frustrated as well, like when I don't have power or internet at work or at my house, including. So I share the concerns of these of the citizens on the island who use PUC power. But at the same time, we really want to just say thank you. Like these guys, as of right now, the latest update, the governor and lieutenant governor visited the power plant to check on progress. And as of today, 2 of the new generators provided by Vital are now operational. So it's
big thanks to the guys that are working all the time. You know, you got the grease on their face. They're just exhausted.
Oh yeah, these guys cover themselves in oil, dirt, and dust while I'm probably in bed covered in a blanket sleeping. But yeah, massive thank you, shout out, and salute to all the workers at PUC keeping the power going and setting up our generators for all the communities and people on the island. Thank you guys, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, it seems like we're a little bit better than we were last week, and as far as power shedding.
Oh yeah, as far as power outages, it's improving. It's definitely improving, and they're sharing updated posts on their Facebook page and website, so it's good. At least the people are informed, and we look forward to the newly operational generators coming soon. All right, well, another thing that we can look at is the back-to-back typhoons, like the Typhoon Bobby that just followed up after Typhoon Sinleko hit Chuuk, Guam, CNMI, and then just a few weeks after that, the people of the Marianas and CNMI had to prepare yet again for the second typhoon that followed up Typhoon Bobby, which also reached a Category 5 typhoon.
Yeah, but it's pretty crazy that this kind of stuff is happening back to back. And they just say that, you know, these storms will only get more and more powerful throughout the years and more back to back. So I feel bad for CNMI because they were really, really devastated by that
Oh, yeah.
Sendaku.
They were still recovering from the first one, and then all of a sudden they had to prepare for second one. But I think they were better prepared, though. Like families moved out into stronger hotels, but still, like the videos on Facebook, the devastation was like still, it was catastrophic.
Yeah, I think as far as Guam goes, they were more prepared because they had just been through it. So they knew that, this time what they would need. What they lacked in the first one, they were ready for the next one.
Yeah, it was I believe Rota and CNMI was like they were just in the eye of the storm. So like the surrounding islands of Saipan, Rota, Tinian, like they felt it the strongest.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Yeah.
efforts have been made, recovery efforts. Like the people are still together. Like the first typhoon Sinlaku hit, like devastating Chuuk, Guam, and the islands. But all the islands came together, and the people came together, and they helped each other out and recovered.
Yeah, right after the storm passed, it went up to Taiwan, and then later on went up to China. And so they were, more than 1.7 million people were evacuated in China. I think they haven't had anything like that in the past years as intense as that. So monsoon rains, there was a lot of deaths in the Philippines, and Taiwan reported at least 133 injuries.
Whoa.
So yeah, pretty serious stuff. And being in the islands, it's not like the mainland where there's just places you can go and keep getting farther away from. You take shelter where you are. So
we have family members and friends out there who's always willing to help each other. So when it comes to security and repairing and work, it's beautiful to see the community to come together and help each other out like that.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It also affected other things like throughout the FSM too. Like,
oh yeah, the airports in Guam, like the flight schedules, like there were a few things that were going to happen here in Pohnpei, but had to be postponed.
Like the Micronesian Islands Forum was postponed nearly a month to August.
Yep.
There was disruption of regional air travel and infrastructure.
That's yeah, it was just crazy. A lot of the stuff seen on Facebook, mainly it was Facebook, TikTok, that stuff that people shared. It was yeah,
I saw to me what I saw on social media this time was that it was more intense than Sinlaku, but I think it just depends on where you were and what kind of infrastructure you were in when the storm hit. But a positive note to that was that the Pohnpei Utilities Corporation sent 8 linemen
oh yeah,
to go and support.
Again, they also sent out people to go support with refixing the lines and whatnot. So it's always good to help out.
Yeah, Pohnpei's working with them to help with their lineman problem while we have a problem here on the island as well. So, I mean, if you got enough support, great. But that's what the islands are all about.
Yeah.
Sharing and helping. Yeah, let's move on to more weather-related news, and that's El Nino.
El
right
Nino.
There. It's a big concern for the islands throughout the Pacific, really.
I mean, the different regions, like depending on where you are on the equator, like north or south. But like I believe I read a little bit, I saw some videos and did some research. But it's more of the islands here, and for us here in the Micronesian region, like more on the islands of Pohnpei, here in Pohnpei towards Koshrai and Chuuk, are experiencing much wetter weather climate. So
which kind of goes against what people know about El Nino. But that's kind of how it seems like it's going to track this year. Heavy rains going into dry, and then drier, and then drier than dry. Like we had not seen
in the states of for Yap and Palau. They're closer to the equator and more on the western side of the Pacific. They are going to be experiencing a lot more dry weather. It's going to be extreme heat. Like some plants are going to die, and like water is going to just evaporate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it may be more than just plants. El Nino droughts have been known to cause deaths as well. NOAA is saying that, tracking El Nino and saying there's a 97% chance that it will persist drought and through early spring of 2027. So it's not just now; it's now until next year, middle of next year even.
Yeah, I think NOAA also gives an 81% chance of a very strong El Nino during October and December of this year, 2026.
Yeah, the
Potentially,
strongest.
yeah, potentially among the strongest events in the record since like the 1950s.
So this is not a scare tactic, but there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with being prepared. Why
And
not?
notified.
Yep.
Yep.
Why not start talking about it now, making plans now while the weather is. Let's take advantage of this heavy rain and get our tanks up, start catching some water,
Yeah.
keeping that water clean until it's time that you can use it without letting it spoil. That's an important factor.
Yeah, Pohnpei's July 10th early action watch says that recent 3 and 6 months rainfall was very wet for the main islands, and several of the outer islands. All the people need to understand a medium chance of fair weather conditions, followed by a medium to high chance of very dry conditions across Pohnpei and all the outer islands.
Yeah, we're not looking at a consistent story of like, okay, it's going to be wet and then it's going to be dry.
Yeah.
Some places will start to be wet, will be consistently wet, while like some outer islands will be dry right now, and then move into some drought, more serious drought conditions later on. So every island is going to tell a different story. You just got to be informed and
be informed, be prepared, prepare however you can for the upcoming weeks, days, months ahead with El Nino.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about droughts that happened a couple of years ago when beetle nut ended up becoming. Was it because of drought that beetle nut ended up becoming more expensive? Or was it?
Yeah, well, it's not just that. I think I remember a couple of years back when I was still in Yap State. I think it was also during an El Nino, but it was really hot. It was really dry to the point where, yeah, beetle nut trees died, gaboi trees died, and plants were just not growing properly. It was just really hot, and then that also increased the market price of beetle nut and leaf on the island and throughout, because almost everyone in Micronesia gets their beetle nut from Yap, or they like to get beetle nut from Yap, which is good. They have their own, but just
Yeah, it's interesting to see how everything is kind of related, like the power situation, the drought, and then even like excess rain can mess up the infrastructure. Like when it gets really dry, I know that in Pohnpei a few years ago we had a drought and it was like fires all the time,
yes.
buildings that were burned down, and that affects the power grid and that affects a whole bunch of things. So be prepared.
Be prepared.
Don't be scared, but be prepared.
Hey, that's a good one. Yeah. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Yes, another thing that could be connected to El Nino would be maybe the situation happening in Yap. It's all over social media, like the dead fish just floating in the water and the ocean discoloration.
Yeah, that was pretty bizarre. Like, I don't think a lot of people have ever really seen that before, that were out there on the outer islands. You saw the post?
Yeah, I've been seeing the posts on social media, and yeah, the people of the islands really reached out and seeked help from the government officials, and so to come and do some testing and find out what's really going on and what's the cause of all the ocean discoloration. I thought it was an oil leak, but no, it wasn't an oil leak. So they're still conducting some tests to find out what's actually causing all of this. It could be connected to El Nino or it could not, but on the posts on social media with all those dead fish floating around, I think this guy was just on his canoe, like paddling and then filming all, like, there's a dead fish over here, dead fish over there, and the color of the ocean is just different.
Yeah, they said they've never seen the ocean look like that.
In my time, I've never even seen or experienced that. So, but people
that was like the color of the water you see when you're going through like a mangrove channel or something.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that.
Like, they rely on the ocean a lot for their living.
Their food source.
Yeah, that's their food
And not
source.
only that, but like their income.
Mm. Yep.
But that was over a month ago. That was around June 13th when it
Yeah.
happened.
So by June 30th, I believe, the fish deaths had also been reported from Satawal, Fachailap, Elato, Ifaluk, Yurpik, and Fais. 7 outer islands in total so far as of June.
Yeah. So I think at this point they kind of feel more confident that it's an algal bloom type thing that just happens.
Sometimes called the red tide. Mm.
Yep. But we're still not 100% sure. I don't know. It would be nice to hear an update.
Yeah, it remains a possible cause. Like Yap State has not yet confirmed the cause yet, but they're still doing their research and looking into it.
I think it's important that people don't eat those fish, because they may be already gone bad as soon as they go,
Yeah.
they die. Don't swim in it when you see it. If you see it, report it so that people can continue, like the government continue to make the right assessment of where these things are happening. And
But it's good to know that the government, national and state governments of Yap are also putting in efforts to resolve this issue and really help the people on the islands when it come in regards to supplies and everything.
yeah, another big issue with the delay that was happening between like when the event happened and then when the testing happened from the laboratory, it shows a capacity issue that we have in the islands. We don't always have like the laboratories that
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
Guam or Hawaii. So
Might get the samples and then have to send it out there to a lab in Hawaii or Guam and then
right.
wait for the results to come back. And then the results will probably give us the explanation that we need. But
But
what
in the meantime, like everybody's already spreading rumors like, black magic or, you never know.
Yeah, we never know, but I don't think that's it. But we'll wait to get more information.
Yep. What do you think about the situation? Well, one of the other really important subjects that I wanted us to discuss was the issue of the traffic accidents here in Bombay, because
Oh,
it feels like it's ramping up. I mean, I live out in Palakur, and it seemed like every week there was a new accident. And the roads are not always, the roads are not big, so people have to drive
yeah,
safely. But
like 2-lane roads, but still the car population here on the islands have really increased throughout like the last 3 to 5 years.
yeah, every year it's
Or every
increasing.
year, yeah, it's increasing. And at the same time, it causes there's this high potential danger of these accidents that's been happening lately. Like in the past couple of months, I've seen how many accidents throughout the island.
Yeah, one of the cars that I saw on the road up there, and it just freaked me out so bad. As a person who drives there every day,
Mm.
who knows if that situation happened because of their own fault or just an accident. And, it was like a can opener had gone and opened the whole side of that car. There was no back door, there was no front door, and it was just like a window into the whole car.
Ugh.
So drive safe and, you know,
Yep, drive safe, and we can always like count on our police force here on the islands to respond and take in response to safety for the citizens and people on the islands who may get on accidents.
yeah. Another thing too about that was, we've got the census on population and
Mm.
and that kind of thing, but when do we get information on what's happening here on our islands that are important, like increases of accident and that kind of thing? I think that
Mm.
we need to do more data collection just so that we can assess how things are really going and what can we do to improve it. How many
Yeah.
fatalities are related to alcohol, or how many are just related to
I mean,
human error.
those would be some good numbers to have if we had like the exact statistics on details with those numbers. We'd be more than glad to share it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, not everything. It's what if we look at some of the things that reasons that could possibly cause like these so many accidents happening. Of course, it could be like a lot of these roads are damaged, like
Poor lighting.
poor lighting. Yeah, in
That's a
some
big deal for
areas.
me. Yeah.
Or it could be alcohol or non-alcohol related.
Mhm.
But there's many factors that play a role when it comes to accidents like these. We just want to promote and encourage safe and good driving habits.
Yeah, I agree. Make sure to leave a comment on what you think about the situation in
Yes.
regards to traffic and public safety. We would love to see and maybe contribute for our next episode. All right, well, that's what's happening here on our islands.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you for sticking with us on this episode 3 of the Micro Pro Talk Show. And if you have anything you would like to share, please feel free to contact us.
Yeah, you can visit us on our website or through Messenger. You can contact us through our comments section. We're always active and we're always looking to see what you guys have to say.
Yes, well, I'm Ozzy Ekalop.
And I'm Nigel James.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.